G'day. So in this video, I'm going to be working on the NEXUS project, which aims to consume all the resources on the map. In the last video, I finished this copper setup, which uses all the copper nodes in the desert. For this video, I'm going to be doing all the iron nodes in the desert. Now I've already used some of those iron nodes to make steel, which you can see just in front of you there. The remaining iron nodes, this is the satisfactory map here, are these ones here in the desert, and I did make a little screenshot so I know exactly which ones to go pick up. It works out to be 9 pure nodes, 8 normal nodes, and 6 impure nodes, which is 13,620 iron. And using refineries with water, that's going to make us, I actually don't know, I haven't written it down. It's going to make us a lot of iron. Anyway, so before we go and do that, I'm actually going to do something with this copper here. Now what I'm going to do is grab some constructors and I'm going to make copper powder. Now I've had a little win here. I didn't quite plan out every single detail of the build, but if I put 3 shards in these constructors, it actually needs 750 per minute exactly copper ingots, and the amount that's on my belts is 750 per minute, which is bloody awesome. 750 is the number it worked out to, just because of the way that the belting works on these setups with the inputs and outputs. So that is actually a pretty nice little win. I do have 3 450 lines here, but I'll sort on it. But at the end of the day, I have 29 750 lines of copper, so it'll be 29 constructors. Boom, easy peasy. So I'll go get that done, and then we'll start working on the iron setup. Okay, well I've done a bit of work. I haven't done exactly what I said because, as usual, things change. I get distracted, get carried away with other things. But let's go through what I've done so far. I have done these 20 lines of 750 into these 20 constructors here. I have then also taken 5 of the 9 750 lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put it into these constructors here, making the copper powder, which gives us a total of 5 times 625 per minute copper powder, 3,125 in these 5. Wait, yep, 5. Awesome things. So I didn't use all the copper, because I took some copper lines elsewhere. Because what I did was I looked at the map and I realized, as I was planning out the iron, I actually realized that there was a couple of caterium nodes. If I can just click that and click that. Well, it's actually here on this miner. I've tapped into it, and there's a caterium node up here. 1 pure and 1 impure, 1 normal. Now, that works out to be, what do we got here? It works out to be 1380 caterium. And I went over, let's just take a quick look underneath here. I grabbed these lines of copper, and I think those that know the game pretty well know already why I'm taking this copper over there. I have 4 750 lines and 1 450 line. Belt, I should say. And they have been taken over for fused quick wire. I quickly grabbed the pure caterium node, and all the way over there on the cliff over there, I grabbed the normal caterium node. I brought them in here and here, and I whipped together a pure caterium ingot factory using the local water here. Smack this one together, 3 shards as usual to save on machine space. And now, excuse the lag. I'll talk about the lag and what I'm going to start to do about that later. I have those lines of copper prepped, ready to go. And I have, if I can just get down here without moving too quickly. I have these belts all prepped and ready to go for fused quick wire. Now, fused quick wire is merging or combining copper ingots with deuterium ingots to get quick wire at a much more efficient rate. Efficiency is in the saving of deuterium, and obviously you literally use 5 times as much copper as you do deuterium. So if I do add all of these together, it works out to be, what are we looking at? I've got it written down somewhere. It's 3,450 copper. And if we do 3, is this the calculator? 4, 5, 0, times 5, sorry, divided by 5, you'll see there that it equals exactly 690. How do I get rid of this? And that's exactly 690. So it just works out. I took my belts from over there, set 4 750s and a 450, and this will go into these assemblers to make standard parts. Where are we? Fused quick wire. Now the thing is with fused quick wire is I'm not going to make it. I don't exactly know where I'm going to make this factory. I might actually throw these belts onto the train and put them elsewhere, because when I turn this into the quick wire, I think it's going to take a lot more belts than what it actually is here. So anyways, that's my deuterium copper setup over here for now. I did then start working on the iron setup. So what I did with that, let's go back to the map. Well, actually, let's just have a quick look over here at our copper setup. For whatever reason, I decided to bring it over to the water, because the water's here for these water extractors. Probably didn't need to do that in hindsight, but for the iron, where are we here? Let's bring up the map. For these iron nodes, this is gonna, yeah, so I need to grab all these iron nodes here. Instead of belting all of this together and bringing it all the way over here to the water, I've actually decided to build the iron factory here in the center and just bring the water to the iron factory. And this is the setup here. I've been working on the water. So let's jump into the game and have a look at that. Alright, so this is the water. I managed to get 26 water extractors down here. All of them triple sharded, so combining into 600 lines. And it turned out to be a reasonably nice looking little setup actually. As with everything I do, I don't like clipping. I don't even like clipping of power lines. I can't even stand it when the power line clips through a machine. So literally in this entire world, if I have any clipping of even a power line, that's something I have to address. But anyway, this is the water setup, and it turns out to be, what are we looking at for water here? 8,000, no, correction there. It is 7,800 water. Divide that by 600, we need 13 pipes, and that's what I've got here, 13 600 lines of water. Coming from just over there. Now my iron factory is going to be over here, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set up the 390 refineries required, but luckily we're going to put 3 shards in each one, so divide that by 2.5, and we have to set up just 156 refineries. So I'll set up the refineries and then I'll work on getting all the belt work done for all of these nodes all around the desert. Actually, most of the work I find for these big projects is not the actual factory itself, even though there's a bit of work involved. The belt work, collecting all the nodes from all over the biomes and bringing in all the belt work like this and making it look neat, that's actually a lot of the work, I feel. Laying out the machines, not too bad. But yeah, we will go ahead and do that. Alright, so the sun's just starting to come up in the game, which is a good time to start doing this. I actually don't have the permaday mod's not working for some reason. Anyway, as you can see, I've been quite busy laying out the iron factory. I've got my pipes coming from over here. I haven't actually connected them just yet. These pipes are full of water. I'm not going to connect it yet. I'll get it all running at one time. You can see the pipe bus goes all the way down the end here, all 13 rows of pipes. They split off. I won't go into huge detail about how I've balanced the water through this, but they're all 600 lines of water. And they all, at the end, they merge together in this kind of balancing line on the outside here, as you can see the water pipes here. Yeah, so I've done the belts as well. The belts and the load balancing of the refineries for the inputs. So if we look down this side, you'll see these rows have 2 more than the other rows. These rows here are for pure lines, so there's 9 of them. There's 9 pure 780 lines of iron in the desert. That's these first 9. And then the rest are going to be for normal 600 lines coming out here. That's what these are. There's 11 600 lines. The impure nodes, we merge them together to make a 600 line. Alright, we come down the end here. So all the normal lines are going to come down the end here. There's some numbers for you. 22 times 550. Yep, I'm putting 550 on each belt, just the way I've decided to do it. I'm not load balancing to 780 on each line. It just, with the way the numbers work and the way I've split these lines, this is the way I'm doing it. And down this other end here, done a little bit differently. I've tried to save a bit of space by stacking it on top of each other and doing them in lines of 3s. This is kind of just temporary. I don't know exactly where these are going to get belted to, but we have 18 lines of 720 with a total of 12,960. The total amount of iron that's going to get made here, iron ingots, is going to be 25,000. 25,060 to be exact. And if you've seen one of my previous videos, I did a 20,000 per minute one quite a while ago in the grasslands. So this is actually doing more than that, 25,000. It's not exactly all the iron nodes in the desert because I've used some for steel and a couple of other things, but yes, that's what we're doing. Now the next part is to actually bring all the lines in. Now they're going to come in here, under here. Where are we? And I'm just going to bring them. I haven't done exactly what I'm going to do, but they're going to come down in and up that way. So that'll be the next thing I do, and then this is pretty much completed. I've also planned out what I'm going to be doing with all the iron. Essentially, I'm going to turn this entire factory of 25,000 iron ingots into modular frames. And I've done a bit of number planning on that. So on a quick side note, while I was building this, for my world actually, side note for the world, I've been checking the power intermittently. Now, I actually did have a power issue. So my power is sitting at 625,000 with my 250 nuclear power plants. Once I got it up and running and troubleshot when I first did it, it ran for about 10 hours before I had an issue. and the issue that showed up was a nitric acid issue. Now I've had this running for another 10 to 15 hours maybe, and I had another issue. I actually started dropping power. So I'll quickly run through what I had to do to fix that, because I don't want to spend too much time on it. But we'll just run through what happened with the nuclear issue. Okay, well here it is, the beast that is powering the world. I've made a video on this before. I'll link it in the comments if you want to go have a look at the setup of this. There's actually 2 videos, but this is the 250 nuclear plants powering the world. I am using flying. I'm not using any power cheats. Again, I keep saying what I'm doing in this world is technically possible in vanilla, because I haven't used any game-changing mods, just quality of life mods. Anyway, so I came over here and I noticed that the waste was backing up on the power plants. So then I went to the next place and I noticed that in here the waste was backing up. And then I had to go across to where I processed the waste. So in the map, this is those 250 nuclear plants that we were just looking at, just here. And the train brings the nuclear fuel rods across from the other side of the world. And then these lines here that you see are truck paths, and these little dots of nuclear waste are my plutonium powered trucks that take the waste from the nuclear plant all the way back across to the other side of the world, where the nuclear, basically the bulk of the nuclear facility is in this area. And then I started troubleshooting what the hell was going on over here, and that's where I'll jump to now. Okay, so I came all the way over here to the first stage of the waste treatment, disposal, whatever you want to call it. The trucks come in here, as you can see here. Here's a truck. He's got 8,700 waste on him right now. They drop their waste off, and that goes up the top. And there's a reason this looks like this. I explained it in another video. And I came in here and I was like, okay, this is backing up with waste. Well, these first will, but it's the end ones you don't want to back up with waste. You'll see these are not. So then I went to the next section of I was like, what is going on? So I checked these particle accelerators and I noticed that these were backing up with the non-fissile uranium. And the reason they were backing up with the non-fissile uranium is because they were backing up with the encased plutonium cells. So then I said, okay, what's going on with the encased plutonium cells? So I went to this machine here and I realized, oh, these plutonium cells are backing up because there's not enough pressure conversion tubes. All right, there wasn't enough pressure conversion tubes coming in here. So then I had to go over to this factory and find out why there was not enough pressure conversion tubes. And I realized it was because there wasn't enough radio control units happening. So then I went over to the radio control units and checked what's going on with the radio control units. Well, we were low on heat sinks. So then I had to check the heat sinks. And then I found out that the heat sinks were low on rubber. So then I had to go all the way over to this factory here. We might just be able to fly over now, which creates rubber and circuit boards. And I found out that there was a little bit of a belting issue with some, because this is doing the rubber tripling thing where you turn rubber to plastic and back and forth. There was a small belting issue, and it was causing some of the rubber to get sunk into the machine when it shouldn't have been. And I did a little bit of reworking with belts and things and fixed the rubber issue. So now we go up to the top here where the rubber gets picked up. I've actually moved the sink up to here and whatnot. I fixed the rubber issue. So there we go. That's what I did to fix the power. And this has been running for another, I don't know, 3 hours maybe since then. And I haven't had an issue. So there's just a quick run through of my nuclear power drama that I had. And it just goes to show that with setups this big, so all of this building here, every single building in this massive setup here is for nuclear. That stuff over there, and then this satellite factory just here is for nuclear. And there's a couple of little pickups. There's a bit of steel in the desert for nuclear, and there's like a limestone pickup and a nitrogen pickup way over yonder. All I'm trying to say is that these epic production lines that have so many fail points in them can take many hours to actually like show their face, the issue. So that issue with the rubber was so slow that it probably took about 20 gameplay in-game hours for it to actually show its face. And I've said many times, when I have the power, I want my power to be flatlined at the top. I see other people, they have the line going up and down, not just due to what are those things called? These geothermals, they make your power fluctuate, which is why I don't use them. But yeah, if your power line's fluctuating, that means that something's wrong. That means you've done something wrong, or you've made a mistake. It's not working properly. I can't live with it. Anyway, I digress. Back to the iron setup. We're going to work on that. So the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try not make this video too long, is pick up all these nodes, belt them in, and fire this thing up, get all these belts populated. And then after that, I'll be working on the epic modular frame setup. Alright, let's get that done. Alright, I did it. As you probably already know from the little teaser at the start of the video, I finished it. I wasn't even going to put these resource sinks in at the start, but I'm kind of glad I did because it looks pretty cool when I'm syncing it all. And it made for a pretty cool little teaser. Side note, these bloody presents that keep dropping out of the sky have been the bane of my existence these last week or so, making these videos. Trying to do like cinematic stuff and set it all up, and next thing you know, a stupid present lands on thing. Oh, goodness me. I don't know how to turn it off. If anyone knows how to turn off Fixmas, let me know. Probably a bit late now because it's almost ended anyway. What is it, like 10th of January? Anyway, I put a little vote up on how long videos should be. Again, this one's going to be close to 30 minutes. I want to try to keep them down around 20 minutes. But, you know, surprisingly, quite a few people said 30 minutes plus, but there was only about 50 people voted at the time I'm making this video. Anyway, so as you can see, it's finished. In fact, I might go turn it on. There's a little bit of troubleshooting. I had water issues. Anyone that's ever played with large volumes of water will know that pipes in this game, they just want to be a bitch. At the end of the day, they're just jerks. So 7,800 is more, actually more than what this needs. And I always, with pipes, give it more, but for whatever reason, it wants to be a jerk. So at the end of the day, I troubleshot it for a bit. I'll be honest, you know, I'll tell you what I did. Where are we? Can we see it from here? This little guy over here. Alright. I added an extra 600 water into the system because I played with it for like, I don't know, half an hour, and I kept just having water issues. At the end of the day, I just added another extra 600 water. Even doing the maths, I don't know where the water could possibly be disappearing into. Anyways, it's finished. It's done, and I'm going to turn all of these into modular frames. It is going to be a ton of modular frames. And then obviously it's going to go up to more and more complex items, up to the space elevator stuff. But it's going to be 1,260 modular frames. That'll probably be the next video. And I've worked out what I'm going to do with some of this. I'm going to turn that into AI limiters for the meantime. But that's it, guys. Without keeping the video too long, I am going to wrap it up and leave it there. And catch you later.